Hey, it's Drybear. Warframe devs at Digital Streams just finished their dev update 184. So their dev stream going over February update, March update, new content, new patches. So let's dive into what was talked about. So the first thing to talk about is how they're splitting up the content that's coming along. There are going to be 2 patches in February, at least early February, that they've talked about. And there's a major patch coming in March that will have different things going into it. So there's going to be a February 6th patch and a February 12th patch that will have different things in it, but the headline of the February 12th patch is going to be new primes as part of that access. So the new prime frame we're getting is Lavos Prime, pictured here on screen. We're also getting the weapon he's holding, Sedu Prime, and also going to getting the dual Zoran Prime axes as the melee. So those 3 primes are going to be coming along with some prime accessories related to the overall vibe that you see here from Lavos. Lavos doesn't seem to be all that popular of a frame just based on how he plays and the elements he goes around with, but we are getting a prime version which might bring him back into the spotlight, and this is going to be dropping on February 12th. However, that's not all. There is a patch next week, February 6th, and this will have a few things in it, most notably the Rhino Heirloom collection. So this will have some pretty cool stuff in it. It actually comes with the Sigma, the 2 horns on the side here, which they did show off on several different characters, which looks pretty cool. So the Ember Heirloom skin collection is being replaced with the Rhino Heirloom collection, but also bringing back a couple other activities that they had in the game prior. And they also showed off some of the color schemes and different setups, as well as the iron skin that you can get for the new Rhino Heirloom, which I think looks pretty cool, and hopefully they just continue doing these kinds of packs for the game, as it's just generally awesome. And it does come with a poster just like the Ember one does, so instead of Ember's butt glowing on the poster, now it's going to be the jacked ripped muscles of Rhino. Additionally, Volume 8 for the Nightwave is ending soon, so you have a couple days left to finish out and spend all of your credits inside of the Battle Pass Nightwave Volume 8, and then on February 6th, Nightwave Volume 9 is launching, and this one is actually going to be 1999 themed, which you can see by the cosmetics already shown on screen right now. Which they have some battle ink, some Scaldra themed cosmetics as well as part of that Nightwave, and they also have a really cool like Technorot inspired armor modifier and some new glyphs and stuff like that, which I think are a cool addition. So just make sure you're spending your points on your current Nightwave Volume 8 before Nightwave Volume 9 launches next week. They're also bringing back Star Days and another operation that I didn't get to play, but a lot of people seem to have liked, which is the Belly of the Beast. So the Operation Belly of the Beast is coming back next week on the 6th, and we'll have the Scythe as well as plenty of other things to grind. They mentioned it's just going to be more, secondary grind options for you if you're looking for something to do once this comes out. So all of that is coming in the patch next week for February 6th. February 7th, they have announced the Tenno Con tickets will go on sale for 2025. This is going to be their Tenno Con, but they're also doing a Tenno concert as well. So this is going to be the ticket options for the event if you're going. And they also did mention that there will be a digital collector's edition if you're just looking for the goodies that come along with this, like the in-game items. You'll be able to pick that up. They said this is going to be their biggest one yet. They're super stoked about it. There's going to be a concert there along with everything else going on with Tenno Con, and the tickets for this go live on February 7th if you're looking to pick these up. Then the following week on February 12th, we mentioned that the 3 new primes are coming in: Lavos Prime, Sedu Prime, and dual Zoran Prime. So new primes being added to the game, and hopefully with a nice upgrade on Lavos, we get to see some cool builds coming out of him in general, but all these will be available on February 12th. Next, let's talk about the massive update that's coming in March that has a ton of new content. They went through a bunch of individual items, so let's just walk through each one of them. They're calling this one the Technorot Encore, which is essentially 1999 Part 2. So it's an extension of the 1999 chapter exploration. They are going to be adding in 8 new operator/drifter hairstyles. All of them, there's like, I think all of the Proto Frame options. So you see Eleanor is here. So all those hairstyles you can have on your operator/drifter if you'd like. And there will be 2 operator/drifter skins for the Scaldra, which are the main enemies inside of the 1999 storyline. And of course, you can use these on your operator or your drifter, whichever one you decide to use. They showed off this one here, and there's another one that they have a concept for, which is right here. So very Scaldra themed, a lot of like punky, like tech fashion, that sort of thing, like tech gear or tech mode, with a lot of pipes and you know, pustules and all that kind of stuff, a lot of leather and whatever. So these two operator drifter skins are coming with the major update in March. They also got two of the guitarists from a band called Periphery to start working on the new frame and soundtrack for the Technorot Encore. So these are two guitarists from a well-known band, and they're working on the soundtrack, the vocals, and like the overall guitar heavy metal theme to the new update. But they also worked on a brand new frame that's going to be what people in chat were calling Roctavia, another musical frame called Temple, and she will be more focused on guitar. So she'll be very guitar themed in her body, in her special weapon is a guitar, and all of it's going to be related to the guitar experience as well. So this is the brand new frame coming in March along with the Technorot Encore update. And she looks like this. You can even see there's like the tuners from guitar on her ears, and he almost has like the body of like an electric guitar, that sort of thing. So another musical frame coming along. And they showed off her, I guess this isn't going to be an exalted weapon. I imagine this isn't going to be a global weapon. It's probably exalted for her, but you'll be able to pick this up as her special weapon, which is like a dual-banded guitar that's infested. It's like an infested guitar that she uses. So she's just going to be rocking out. I guess it's going to be your new Guitar Hero-themed Warframe. Next, they showed off the new Lich weapon. So this is an extension of the adversary system that they have in Warframe, which is you get a Lich that you can chase down, and then once you fight them, eventually you can get the Lich weapons. There's going to be a 1999 version of this that has the new Coda Weapons. They said there are 18 total new weapons being added in with this update. 13 of them are Coda weapons, and there's also going to be 4 brand new Scalda-themed weapons that the Scalda enemies use in 1999 that you'll be able to pick up through this system. And basically, the way they've described the Coda or the new Lich weapon system is a nice improvement on the existing adversary that we have. Not only can you choose the weapons, because you'll be getting this special currency from doing the adversary encounters in 1999, you'll get a currency that you can then go to Eleanor inside of your apartment and spend with her to get whatever of these Coda weapons that you want. But also you will be able to get a new item called an Elemental Vice, which will allow you to change the passive element on these weapons. So you see how it says bonus cold on one of these? You can actually change that with this new weapon once it's fully upgraded to be able to choose whatever element or type that you want on the weapon itself. They even showed off some cool stuff that this weapon here, the Coda Motivore, I guess this has a presentation varied based on which element or type you've applied to it. So I guess this here has slash on it because it has the spikes. And then based if you did puncture or you did cold, I guess all of these have different representations and visuals for this like little wheel weapon in general. But new Lich weapons with the Coda weapons, new encounters, new Coda adversaries to fight, and they have their own special flair as well. And just like with the Lich weapons, they have their own theme and vibe. This one's very infested and distorted. It's got that hot pink, like dark pink kind of feel to it. And they also have a brand new shotgun weapon as well, which honestly looks pretty disgusting the way that it shoots out, which is this monstrosity right here, which got the techno rod on top of it. It like spits a little goopy hand out. But this is going to be one of the new Coda weapons coming into the game in March. They also detailed the acquisition process for this, and it does seem to be a lot more fair than the current Lich system overall. So you'll be doing bounties to collect the antivirus mods for your handheld to be able to do the adversary puzzle that comes along with the Coda. So you do these, you collect these, and these are essentially antivirus. It's just like the Lich system where you find the right symbols and try to inject. So you'll have to collect these by doing bounties, and every time you do one of the Codas, you can end up fighting one or even two at once. They're called duets, where you can have a dual boss fight at once. But just like with the Liches, you'll be able to, convert them to your side. You can summon them to fight for you in missions. You can have them aboard your railjack if you like. All those are part of it, and you'll be able to get the heart cell. You'll give enough of the heart cell currency every time you do a Coda to be able to buy at least one weapon, sometimes more, from Eleanor. And on top of that, each one of the Coda events that you do is guaranteed to come with at least one cosmetic reward, either like an emote or a floof decoration or something like that. So having like these little floofs show up, or just getting even just getting an extra item, and the fact that you can choose what Coda weapon you get from the process, I think is a huge improvement over the existing existing system. They showed off some of the emotes, the K-pop style emotes and things like that, but you'll be able to get one of these with every single Coda that you do. And they showed off the duet fights as well. You can see there's two bosses in this fight. Both Packet and Hard Drive are here that you're fighting as your Coda, and you'll have to defeat them and then try out your antivirus on them after you defeat them. But you can see that they were able to summon one of their previous Codas to help them out in the fight inside the mission itself here. And I think it's just a good reason for us to get back into the 1999 maps and play around with them more. In addition to the Coda weapons coming, they showed off the 4 Scaldra weapons, which is this pistol that Rhino is holding right here on the new heirloom skin. There's going to be a really cool shotgun that shows up, a assault rifle looking weapon as well. So basically all the weapons that you're seeing the Scaldra use inside of 1999. This awesome goopy scythe weapon, which a lot of them are very goop related as the Scaldra are. And they also showed off the shotgun weapon as well as part of this update, all coming together. Like I said, there's 13 Coda weapons, 18 total new weapons, and 4 of those being new Scaldra weapons added with the update in March. There are also new deluxe skins with Gyre getting a new one, Alternox getting a deluxe skin as well, a new chair decoration that will have a random pop-up of indifference coming in. So you can actually add the infamous meme chair to your whatever decoration area that you want, and occasionally indifference will appear on the chair and spook you. They will also be adding in new dojo decorations from the Holvania set. So if you wanted it to look a little more 90s style or a little more street style, you can. There's trash cans, shopping carts, billboards, neon signs, seats, tubes, concrete blocks, sewer pipes, things like that. So if you wanted to add all this whole collection is coming in with the full Technorot Encore update. Plus a bunch of quality of life. They're making more updates to the Kim system, which is the dating app, the AOL messaging system. They're going to add more combos in conversations to have with the Proto Frames in February, more options for getting through that content in March. So like speeding up dialogue, getting access to all previous dialogues, and their long-term goal is to add more romance options for those and more romance conversations throughout the year as the year goes on as well. A couple major updates with this as well. They're going to be making the defense missions go down from 5 to 3 per set, per cluster. I don't know if they're going to end up making these longer because 5 has kind of been the mark. I mean, survival is already 5 minutes, so 5 rounds for defense mission wave reduction, going down to 3. If it's just the same, maybe you'll just be able to do these missions easier and clearer on the defense overall. I'm not sure what impact this will have on even like XP and when people dodge out, but they're just making the defense waves from one to the other to the next shorter. I'm not like a super hardened Warframe veteran, but at least for me, this doesn't seem as necessary, but let me know what you think about this change down below. Another huge change is they're reworking the Aura Forma to be in Omni Forma, and I think this is honestly just in response to the quality of life that the First Descendant added into the game. In Warframe, you can't have more than one Forma on a single slot. In the First Descendant, you can have all Formas or Catalysts in a single slot, so you'll be able to eventually be able to get everything in one slot. So they're updating and reworking the Aura Forma to be an Omni Forma, which means that when you put this Forma on a slot, everything except for Umbra will be able to be reduced in cost or capacity in that single slot, which I think is an awesome update. You just put this in, you'll be able to put whatever mod you want in that slot, and it will be reduced except for Umbra. So you'll be able to have that there. And I think this is an example of Warframe finally having some competition, but like with the First Descendant, and they're feeding off each other and making their games better. And I think that competition is healthy, and hopefully it continues. A couple minor additions, they're improving the pseudo exalted weapons to make sure that you have like arcanes and stuff and slots for those as well. The Riven capacity has been increased to +30, and the base capacity based on level for new players has been floored at 15, which means you should always have 15 capacity on if you're mastery rank 1 level 1 item or equipment piece, and then you'll get +1 for every other level rather than having like 1 capacity increase for every level or every mastery level. It's every other, and they put a floor on it so it can't go lower than 15, which I think is going to be great. Some weapons just got completely screwed over for that. They're also going to be trying Rhino crafting as a 24-hour timer instead of a 3-day timer, which is absolutely absurd. And they're also putting in a system, which I'm shocked it took this long. Maybe they're like listening to me as I'm playing Warframe, but they're going to add an option where to automatically disband from randoms that you pick up in the squad system when you queue up for a mission. So if you go solo into a public mission and it forms a squad, you have the option to be able to disband that squad automatically once you get to the results screen. It will also be able to include previously made squad mates as well. So if you have someone in your party, say you queue up with someone and you go into a public mission and it fills the other 2 slots with 2 other people, when you get to the mission screen, you'll have the option to be able to automatically disband the new people that showed up and keep your existing party so you can just queue again and things don't get so weird. I think this is a huge modernization and a big improvement on the system. I know they like people to be able to group together and play together and encourage people to be in a social setting, but that's what the recently used players or recently seen players list is for. And honestly, it gets kind of weird when you finish a mission and you hit, hey, redo mission, and then 2 other people say no, and then you can't exit squad, and then you're fighting over what mission you're gonna do, and it just gets into this really weird situation. I feel like if you find someone you vibe with and you want to party with them, you can do that, but on average, you're probably just gonna keep playing and queuing rather than having to worry about leaving squad and queuing again. Another example of the First Descendant encouraging Warframe to modernize a little bit is going to be a quick select for duplicate mods. The way that the First Descendant launched initially is you had to manually select all of your duplicate mods so that you could destroy them or consume them, get the extra materials from it, and get that done. However, everyone in the TFD community complained about this because you could, go up to the mod character and you have thousands of mods to get rid of, and clicking them one by one just sucks. And I think they just put that in there because they were just straight out lifting the Warframe system, and it honestly just is dated and archaic and needs to go. So TFD implemented a system where you can select in bulk a batch selection of duplicate mods that you can then use to dismantle and get the materials from. And in Warframe, they're adding this in with the March update as well. So you will be able to batch select all mods that aren't legendary and riven and aren't ranked, so you don't get rid of bad modules you may want to keep. But any mod that's unranked and is not legendary, not riven, at a certain level of quality, you can actually select all of those at once and batch dismantle them for either endo or for your credits if you want to. If you're a crazy person and you don't want endo for some reason, you can do that as one big swoop. So again, another example of competition being healthy for games, this system coming into Warframe 10 years later. They also mentioned that there are going to be 4 new Proto Frames coming online. So if you like the existing Proto Frames, the 6 that we have, there will be 4 new ones. They didn't mention who they are. You can probably guess based on the 1999 universe where things are coming from. But 4 new Proto Frames will be coming to the game in March as well, along with everything else in that update. So that's where we're at for March. Big update. February, we have Lavos Prime, we have Seto Prime, Dual Zoran Prime, and a whole bunch of other things, and a lot of new content coming to the game as well. But that's the DevStream 184. Let me know what you think about these new upcoming updates for Warframe down below in the comments. If you found value in today's video, leave a like down below, leave a comment for the algorithm to help this video get seen by more people, and don't forget to check out my other channels for other content and other stuff and other things.